So many of God's people, whenever they're confronted by another believer, what if the other person, who had been wronged by the person, they want to confront them and tell them they did wrong, whether if they confronted them in a violent matter, a very disciplinary matter, or they're very sweet and nice about it. They weren't combative about it. It seems like so many times God's people think that they didn't do anything wrong. They think they have no right to be confronted by that person, because they think that the other person is wrong. Overall, they think they're wrong. Well, if any of God's people watching this, you've been confronted by other Christians, and you think they're wrong for confronting you, for the way they confronted you, or you think they were wrong for confronting you overall. If you think you didn't do anything wrong, take it up with God, and He'll let you know who's right and who's wrong. I'm reading from this book right here. I came across some scriptures. Actually, I'm going to be using part of chapter 2 of this book to talk about that. It says in Matthew chapter 18, verse 15 through 17, "Moreover, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he hears you, you have gained your brother. But if he will not hear you, take with you one or two more, that by the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established. And if he refuses to hear them, tell it to the church." Notice this is a dispute between believers. If they cannot settle it themselves, ultimately it has to go before the church. That is not an option. It is a commandment. We are not free to leave disputes unresolved in the church. If we can resolve them as individuals between ourselves, good. Otherwise, we are obligated to take them before the church. Continuing scripture, "But if he refuses even to hear the church, let him be to you a heathen and a tax collector." Matthew chapter 18, verse 17. A man who will not receive the decision of the church loses his right to be treated as a believer. This is a solemn statement. So for any of God's people, you've been wronged by another believer. If you confront that person, try not to be combative about it. Try not to be acting all resentful or all hostile about it. Tell them what they did was wrong. If they won't listen to you, then bring two or three more witnesses. If they still won't listen, bring them before the church. If they still won't listen, let them be to you as a heathen or a tax collector. And for any of God's people out there who have been confronted by other Christians, if you think you didn't do anything wrong, you think you have no right to be confronted by another person because you think you didn't do anything wrong, take it up with God, and He'll let Him surprise you. And then go from there. Thanks for watching, and God bless, and be sure to like and subscribe.